please don't think that every time something comes at you that you may not be familiar with what it is, that is evil, because that's not always the case, even if you're being pushed out of your body. So one night, I was pushed out of my body by this big shadow bird being. I was laying in the bed and I woke up and the walls were red and everything was distorted. And what I realized later on was that I was in an infrared reality. Remember, we have different levels of light frequencies. There are 7 of them, 7 primary ones. Outside of the visible light spectrum, there is an infrared frequency. That is exactly what I was viewing. And it wasn't my physical body with these 2 eyes seeing it. No. I was still within my body, but that other aspect of me, that soul aspect, okay? My etheric body, soul body, spirit body, astral body, whichever word you want to use. Remember, I always combine them to keep it simple. I don't separate and get all difficult with all the various different labels and all that. This other body, my consciousness was viewing from that viewpoint. And the walls were red. It was like an infrared type of environment, like those goggles that people wear like in the military, or some other folks will see like thermal, this or that. It was just like that, very weird. And I saw this bird, huge, and it looked black. It was dark. And it went up the wall and then it went behind me, but I didn't turn around to see where it went. All I know is it went behind me. And it was pushing me out of my body. The pushing felt like a hug, like a real strong hug. Like it was a squeezing. It was more like a squeeze. And as it was squeezing, it was like it was pushing and squeezing at the same time. And the more it did that, I saw like this little light, like at the end of a tunnel type of thing. And the more squeezed and pushed that sensation I had, I got closer and closer to that little light, and the light was getting bigger and bigger. So the little circle was getting bigger and bigger and bigger until I was engulfed in it, and I entered into a room full of light. And then there's some things that transpired or whatever, but at the end of all of the various different scenarios that happened, basically I was in this doctor's office in the spirit realm, and there was the first time that I discovered that I could go through walls and go through ceilings and all of that. I didn't have to walk through. I could just float through. And that's another thing. I didn't have to walk at all. I could float and then go through stuff. And it was very interesting going through the walls and going through the doors, like through it without opening it. So the point I'm making is that thing that was squeezing me, it wasn't doing something negative to me. It was more like it was forcing me to see the capabilities that I had. It had me going into bright white light. And it was a very positive experience that happened when I was there, you see? And so I always looked at it initially for years as it being a negative thing. This thing attacked me. It was pushing me out of my body and squeezing me. And then later on, I'm like, well, wait a minute. If it was something that was that bad, negative, evil, low vibrational, why did it have me go into such a positive realm where I was learning different things and experiencing things for the first time and coming to certain realizations? Okay. So I'm just saying that to say that back at that time, I still didn't, the love frequency and knowing the power of love, it still wasn't there yet. But I'm saying this to you to say this. You don't ever have to wonder, well, was it like this or that or whatever when you are at a certain frequency when it comes to your default energy. You don't have to wonder, because when you're at a love frequency, it's not, well, Is this something evil? Like you already know. There's just things that you're just going to know. When you dip down in frequency, if you already know how to use light, use that light. Okay?